Good morning, everybody. I'm Sha1ma. I'm chilling with my friend Ndo, and you are watching Analogue Culture.
Thank you. Hello, Sha1ma.
Hi.
How are you this morning?
Fresh.
Yeah, I see. Very, very fresh.
Coffee. My friend, let's go.
Yeah. How was the gig yesterday?
Good, nogal, actually.
Yeah.
I appreciated the fact that I could play for 2 hours. I'm appreciating this lengthy sets because now you can get into it, say what you want to say, and do the things.
Yeah. It's I know what you mean with the 2-hour sets. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Who is Sha1ma Bucks?
Ooh, where do you want to start, bro?
Let's start where you grew up.
Okay, so all around the Cape Flats. My dad is originally from Deep River.
Okay.
But when him and my mom got married, we basically lived in Mitchell's Plain.
Okay.
When I started primary school, we moved out to Parkwood so that my mom can be closer to her parents. So that essentially is where I grew up.
Okay.
So Manenberg, Mitchell's Plain, Parkwood.
Manenberg, Parkwood.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm sure the next question is going to be about my musical taste.
Not really. We still need to get it into the groove before we get to the musical taste. What was Daddy listening to at home?
Ooh, Phil Collins, Bob Marley, that kind of vibe, that kind of groove. My mom was into, I don't even know the lady's name, but I call it the crying music of those generations. You know when you at a grown folk party and there's alcohol involved. I'm not saying that my family is into alcohol or anything, but just like from a colored culture perspective, they dronk verdriet musiek, as they would say. But yeah, I feel like my dad was basically the eclectic one out of all of us, because we weren't raised in a house that that we could say like there was color, if you know what I'm saying. So music was music, no matter what it was, whether it was Rolling Stones, whether it was the Marvin Gaye's or whatever. Music was music in our house, just like people were people. There was no barriers, if you can put it that way.
Yeah, so literally no funk or disco in the house. Just
look, there was, but I mean, I'm talking about now like 6 years to 12 years. 6 years old to 12 years old. This is what I remember. I remember Simply Red. I remember Bob Marley. I remember Sade. I remember Phil Collins. I remember Sting. That's what I remember playing in my house. Radio driven, LP driven. I remember the huge ass blow punked stereo in my house. I was as tall as the speakers. So that is what was happening in my house. Sunday mornings, soul. So that is what we were listening to. So yeah, that is where I suppose the musical journey started.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then post your are you DJing at this stage? Are you thinking about DJing? Is it we're talking high school years now?
No, not at all. I sort of kept an open ear.
Okay.
Because I was heavy into now I'm getting into my identity as a person, I suppose, and I felt I was black. So, and for some reason, American black. I don't know where the hell that came from, because now I'm like, that was just probably part of the journey. So R&B, hip hop, and I loved hip hop for what it was back in that days. It was raw, it was underground. And if you had something to say, it had to be with a beat.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. So the hip hop culture really, at that time in my life, it spoke to me, I suppose.
Yeah.
The soul was always there. And I would need to thank my cousins for that, because that was the influence that they brought into my musical taste, I suppose. So the likes of Randy Crawford.
Yeah.
Simply Red once again, Aretha Franklin, Sade. My one cousin used to dig UB40, so that is red wine. Here we go, brother.
Yeah.
Another cousin of mine, when he got into DJing, but I didn't know it at the time. It was later on in my life that I found out. Oh my God, you DJ.
Yeah. Was he a hip hop DJ?
No. This is now like disco-y.
Oh, okay.
Late 80s, in the middle of the 80s, late 80s disco-y vibes and that kind of thing. So, yeah, so I should really, the musical taste, I suppose, goes, and the thanks goes to my dad, a little bit of my mom, but mostly my cousins, who are like 10 to 15 years senior to me.
Okay.
So whatever they were blasting on their stereos and radios is what we were listening to and jiving to, I suppose.
Okay.
So yeah.
Where'd you go to varsity again?
UWC.
UWC. At UWC, what type of sound is playing at UWC that's getting you in the jam? Besides the hip hop part of it.
So at that time, look, now you're getting to meet all sorts of people, eh? And on the radio at UWC is different kinds of things that are playing. And I dug it. Anything different that caught my ear, I loved it.
Yeah.
But the people I was moving with at the time were into electronic music.
Okay.
Me, still R&B and hip hop. But I'm messing with it now.
Yeah.
I'm moving into it and I'm like, this is lekker. Not that was the first time I've ever heard electronic music, because come now, disco is there. It's part of the thing.
Yeah.
And I remember, I told you the story before, I think my first encounter with actually loving that, the electronic sound, was late night in my room.
Yeah.
The music show that used to come on late night past 12, SABC 1, I suppose. Electric something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But all I know is that the camera's going around in the club and it's electronic music playing and everybody's dancing. Funny dancing. Like the moves and
Yeah.
But looking back now and I think about it, it was just all forms of expression, I suppose.
Yeah.
And that's why I love house music so much. And now that I understand the history and where it comes from, it's just all about expression.
Yeah.
Being who you are and letting loose, man. Dance like nobody's watching, feeling the grooves, feeling the beats, whether you know the track or not. Just going there, I suppose. And that is what I took away from there.
But this is now UWC days.
UWC days, high school days is all meshed into one. That's my memory.
Still, no sign of...
No sign. No? Right, so now I'm getting to know quite a few groups of people, and now comes this word, deep house. Like, what is deep house?
Yeah.
Because I'm into the rave scene now.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
High BPM, prog, that, I'm into that and I'm loving it.
Yeah.
And I meet a certain group of people and I'm listening. Now, dis te starig, julle. It's too slow. But there's something about it that I'm loving.
Yeah.
And then I get introduced to Ryan Dent.
Okay.
Dino Moran. Dino Michaels. Brett Jackson. And then I'm starting to attend events, and the sounds of Leighton Moody, Kasim Latif when he had hair, Irfan Pierce. Sorry, I had to say it. Lester Bachelor, Shamir Karim, I forgot his DJ name, but
He used to be called Stan.
Stan, yes. I missed a good chunk out of the movement at that time, but when I got into it, these are the names that comes up for me.
Yeah.
And at that time, you basically followed a DJ and the sound that DJ was known for.
Yeah.
But damn it, I liked everything.
Yeah.
So I went everywhere. Events at that time that I used to love was Deep Heat. All sold out. There was another one, something funk, Mo Funk. Yeah, it was kaklik. Like, none of this shit was being played on the radio.
Yeah.
And remember, our musical tastes come from radio.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where the hell do you get this music? Because ek kan nie nou gaan sit by 'n radio en gaan record die.
Yeah.
No, where are you getting this from? And what was so nice at that time was they would throw an event, and like maybe to the first 50 people through the door, they'll give you a CD. Yara, I make sure I'm there.
Yeah.
First 50, but like CD because I want these numbers.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So there, I think, is where the true essence of the love for deep house came in.
Yeah.
Still not wanting to be a DJ. I think that came a little bit later. But I was a dancer, I would say. And I would follow the sound and the DJ at that time. Yeah, letting loose on the dance floor, man. Expression, freedom, finding yourself. Yeah.
What events did you go to at that stage? I know if you're talking about those names and those dudes, I think that was just before they did Deluxe. When Lester did Deluxe.
I think I missed out on that though.
Is it?
Okay. The Sutra days, the More days. I think I came into it either towards the end of that, but for me, I think my journey was like sort of split, because I'm still in the rave scene somewhat, in between R&B, hip hop, and then starting to explore the deep house.
Yeah.
Because music is still music for me.
Yeah.
So.
You missed out on the Deluxe days.
Yeah. And the stories that I hear people talk about, I'm like, damn.
Yeah, that was kind of a very big
chunk of
footprint, because I think that's where a lot of the integration started, and that's how we found out the other side of town was doing this as much as they found out the other side of town was doing that.
Yeah.
Now, you reckon you missed a big chunk? Is this before you left the country?
Yes. Yes.
That was the time you were not in the country.
So, deep house for me was towards the end of my uni days, when I now started working and you're earning a bit of money and you can spend your own money now.
Yeah.
So now you can go where you want to go. So that was the introduction to the movement. That was the introduction into the scene, into the music and what was out there. But bear in mind that I'm still listening to all these other genres.
Yeah.
As you would. I left the country in 2007. And when I was overseas, your mind gets blown, obviously, because now there's even more to listen to.
Yeah.
Even more DJs that would grab you.
Yeah.
So still, open ear. Absolutely open ear. The recession happened. That was 2009. Somewhere there.
Yeah.
It was a little bit earlier in the West, but for South Africa, 2009, somewhere there.
Yeah.
And that's exactly where I came home. Life happens, you come home, blah. And I remember sitting, and I'm on Facebook, and I see this thing, DJ course. Like, no, lekker. Why not?
Yeah.
I don't even remember the people who ran it. Maybe Sha1ma can help me out here in the comments. Because that is where I met Sha1ma Samai, Irshad Samai's sister.
Yeah.
And the two of us did this course together. And for me, it wasn't learn, go out and play. It was learn.
Okay.
I just wanted to know, how do you get the two tracks the same? Because I already had like a sort of a, look here, the speeds. I don't know any terminology at this point. I know nothing about technicalities and anything.
Yeah.
So now, for me, it just boggled my brain a little bit. That bra standing there, there's knoppies and he's doing stuff. But I know for a fact when I listen to that track, it's slower on the radio.
Yeah, yeah.
And when I listen to this track, it's a bit faster.
Yeah.
So now, how the heck are you making me dance to the same beat?
Yeah.
I suppose. That boggled me. And I just, for me, it was just the interest of, hoe gaat ek nou die ene en die ene saam sit?
Yeah.
How do I do that? And that's why I did that
The course.
course thing.
Okay.
No intention to play for anybody. I was quite content with just knowing that button is for that. This is where you load it. This is your pitch control. If it's out, bend the song a little bit. Bring the track in with the volume knobs. This is your bass, your treble, your whatever. I was quite content with that.
Yeah.
Sha1ma, on the other hand, went on to play events and clubs and whatever. I'm just there being supporter.
Yeah.
Like for me, it was cool, lekker. I leave the country again,
Okay.
but this time for a longer stint. And I'm out of the country at the end of 2010. And I'm away for about 7 years.
Hang on. The CDs that you used to collect at the club when you walked in and they gave you, whatever happened to those?
I probably still have them.
You still have them?
Yeah.
Okay. Were they mixtapes by the DJs that were playing there? Okay, cool. Off of the top of your head, whose mixtape do you still have?
Ryan Dent.
Ryan Dent. Okay.
Brett Jackson. Still have it.
Moving back to the school now and learning how to DJ there, with Sha1ma going to do the clubs, how come you never jumped into that? Or was it just a matter of you wanted to learn, you learned, and that was just it?
Look, there were definitely conversations of, you should. And I'm like, nah, man. Nerves.
Okay.
Anxiety for me, it's still a big thing.
Yeah.
I didn't smack the all eyes on me and now I mess up. I don't know what it is at that time. Like, it does take a lot for, like, it's like public speaking. Not everybody can do it.
Yeah.
You can chill in your room, speak in the mirror, speak to yourself, it's fine. But the minute you put an audience there, it's a total different thing. So I suppose it's the same thing with DJing. If that's the comparison that I'd like to make, like,
yeah.
the eyes, am I doing it right? Is it flowing liquor? Do I have the crowd? Like all of these things, and it's still today, I still have it in my brain. It's just better controlled.
Okay.
So at that time, the fear was very high. And it took a lot for me to say, okay, let's try this. And when I did, it's like, now, what was so hard about that? But it helps when you have supportive people around you, and giving you like encouragement and like just making you feel like when they share these stories with you, making you feel like, you know what, you're not alone. I mean, even Uncle Vinny says, even I mess up sometimes, but it's fine. And when people like that you actually look up to, say things like that, then you're like, it's not about perfection.
Dino Michaels once said to me, the nerves are a necessity in making sure that you deliver a good set for people.
Yeah.
Because without the nerves, you're overconfident. With the overconfident, you can't recover from a mistake.
Yeah.
Because of your overconfidence.
Yeah.
So having nerves a lot of the times, particularly playing for people that either paid to come and see the show, is really, really good, and it's a necessity because it keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
It makes you appreciate the people that come and support you.
It's
more.
basically saying, I still care.
Yeah. And you know, he said that a long time ago to me.
Yeah,
Those words have never ever left me, to say, never be so overconfident about
now,
things.
This is why I wanted you next to me so that we can talk and then they can see your gefrit when you're saying these things.
But you know me, Mus. You know my gefrek. Sha1ma forces me to speak my 2-second Afrikaans, and it's really not that good. It's one of those beyond bluff type of Afrikaans.
Anywho, moving on.
Yeah, ek loop met my food type. So now I want to cover that piece whereby you started DJing. You started playing for people and playing in clubs and playing in spaces.
Okay.
When does that transition into the game? Because you left the country for the second time.
Yeah.
When you left, what were you listening to then? What clubs did you go to overseas? Which country were you in?
So I was living and working in Doha, Qatar.
Okay.
I went to everything. I went to dance hall gigs, reggaeton, that kind of vibe.
Okay.
I went to R&B hip hop gigs where some of the best international DJs would come out, or performances, or artists would come out and entertain you.
Yeah.
House, deep house, everything. So I would jump between Doha and Dubai,
Okay.
because Dubai had a little bit more to offer. When I left, by the time I left in 2007, I have to mention that this is now the first time that I'm getting more into
The music.
the music, and also because I'm like in and out of the country as well, I don't know what's happening in Cape Town. But the only thing that I'm seeing online, on social media, what my friends my age are talking about is this thing called Warehouse Sundays. Like, okay, let's go and check it out. So I have to mention it at this time because this is now where I am now, probably immersing myself into the deep house culture and sort of pulling away from the R&B, hip hop, and all those other things.
Yeah.
Sha1ma's name needs to be mentioned here because now he is starting a movement in Dubai where I see him bringing over black coffee.
Okay.
Artists from South Africa, and I'm like, artists, DJs, producers, whatever. He's bringing them over into the Middle East, and I'm like, yo, this is quiet. So now I'm into the deep house, I'm into the Warehouse Sundays, I'm going to the Sha1ma events in Dubai, and I'm exploring all these other sounds within the house genre as well, whether it's arranged by people I know or not.
Okay.
I'm there. Disco funk, I'm there. House, I don't care what BPM you're playing it, I'm there.
Yeah.
So this is now where the ear is starting to get more fine-tuned
Okay.
into what's happening in the scene, and there was just something about it that grabbed my soul, I suppose. I'm always for anything that is underground.
Yeah.
Number one. I feel like even in the hip hop days, people needed to speak about something, another audience needed to hear it,
Yeah.
but I'm going to deliver it in a way that is going to grab you. And for some reason at this stage in my life, the deep house grabbed me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in between Doha, Qatar, those are the type of events that I'm going to. I remember a Pasha event. I remember going to a Black Coffee concert.
Yeah.
I remember Leighton coming down. I remember so many other artists coming down. and I would try and go.
Yeah.
Because some of the things were not happening in Doha, but most of the things were happening in Dubai.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's where I'm at. And then when I come home, I try and explore whatever's happening in Cape Town, We House being one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. That stage, you know how to DJ, but you never felt that side. You should. Sheesh. That was a great opportunity, eh?
Bangmos, man. Anxiety.
You come back from overseas, you're back in Cape Town. When do you decide, okay, now I'm going to DJ?
Something just said, okay, so now you also have to remember, okay, cool. You know how to DJ, but equipment-wise,
Yeah.
so there's different stages of your life where you can afford these nice, expensive toys.
Yeah.
Okay? I just need to jump back quickly to when I initially started learning. I used to go to another friend of mine, Ashley Jansen's house, still a DJ today. And that is where I would practice.
Okay.
So you must go and prepare your CD. Go write the numbers on the CD. And you had this funny little thing with only buttons.
Yeah.
And then the one that I recognize,
Okay.
which is was now your Pioneer CDJ 100s, I think it was at the time.
Yeah.
You load the CD, select the track, choose that. Jy kan niks sien op my screen nie, jy moet nou beat match daar so.
Yep.
So you need to beat match, you need to know what is the what, and that is how I sort of, I don't know, with his guidance, got taught.
Yeah.
Coming back to SA, lost contact with Ashley, and you don't have brassa that you can go to and just, can I quickly? And on top of that, I don't really want to talk about the gender thing,
Yeah. But
it's there.
I'm actually going to draw you into that based on the event you're hosting next week. So might as well just jump into it now.
Yeah.
Because literally it is one of my questions as to how are you experiencing the scene as a female?
It's still hard. It is still hard.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay.
Because you still see events that is just, and sorry for my, a penis party.
Okay.
I mean, if you look at it like 20 years ago, who were your female DJs? It was Tamara Chetty, rocks that I can remember. I didn't know Malibala at the time, but I know that she's been in the scene for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
T-Lady. Give me more names. They were there. But did I know about it? No. Because it was always penis parties
Okay.
on the lineup.
Okay.
Okay. So when you do, and I remember this. So now I meet this friend, and he's got the yellow setup, the CDJs, the vinyls and everything. And I remember this conversation, and I'm like, I know how to, but I'd love to practice. No, this is not for you. Not for me, what do you mean? No, you're a girl.
Okay.
You don't need to be a DJ. That was the feeling, the vibes that you would get from people.
Okay.
So what is wrong with me not trying to DJ? I don't want to date the DJ. At this point now, I want to be the DJ.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there was always this stereotype, if you will. No, there's no opportunities for you. This is a gents thing. Okay, now let it be a gents thing. Bought my controller, played in my home, and that's where it started for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that was the driving force as well, because now around me I can see, ooh, she's DJing. Now what about me? Why can't I? I know how to, I just need to refine the skill a little bit more. And I took it on as a passion project, I suppose.
Okay.
Because 20 years ago, nobody would have looked at you. because it was a male-dominated scene. Or maybe I just didn't know the right males at that time. And then I was like, you owe it to that girlie that did it in 2009.
Okay.
You owe it to her. Feelings have changed. How you think about things change. Not so scared for the eyes anymore. So why not? And that is where Sha1ma
came up.
came up, yeah.
Why Sha1ma, Vel?
Yay.
Sha1ma. Sha1ma the one.
Exactly.
No.
A lot of the, like, when you're moving through life, a lot of the things that you used to do with friends are no longer there anymore. People move on, kids, families, whatever. So when I want to do something, I'm not going to depend on somebody doing it with me. Why not?
Yeah.
On my own. But it was actually born when I started traveling alone.
Okay.
And could never find anybody to travel with. So then I do the exploration of the world on my own. And that is where the I in Sha1ma got replaced with the one.
Okay.
Because everything was done on my ace. And also, there's only one like me.
I just want to share something with you that Leighton Moody said to me. We were having a discussion about the number of DJs being so many and the lack of events being there, right? And everyone...
Yeah, Allah, when was this? How many years ago?
It was a while back.
Before COVID.
Was it before COVID? I think it was before COVID.
Yeah, there we go.
It was before COVID. And it was like, there's just one wee house, right?
Yes.
And we must cater to the clientele. We must cater to the people we book. A lot of the people that want to come play here because they like the vibe on the floor and they know that this is where all the house heads gather, right? So with that, then that means we need to kind of cater for all the DJs that are live in here and also still manage how we entertain our clientele. So as this thing can grow to, I mean, Warehouse has been here for how long?
Yeah, 10 years.
And I think it's because of that kind of curation that it's been here that long. They literally make sure that we cater to the clientele more so to the DJ's egos to say, I can play good and I want to go play Warehouse. Why aren't they recognizing me? That conversation was very important because he said, you know, I wish people would do more on their side. Like as a DJ, plan and create and curate an event. So as then we have more spaces where a lot of the rotation of DJs can happen. So as we can also not only play Warehouse and we can play everywhere else. I found that to be a very, very important conversation because it kind of opened my mind. I used to be one of those people that says, why are we not getting booked? You know? But then also I never asked myself, why are you not creating an event that then books you? Because how that was born is based on the idea that the gents wanted to play and they created a space where they could cater to a particular clientele and they're doing it. They focused on every aspect. So that in itself, when I ask as a female DJ, I shouldn't say that. But since we're discussing gender, right? I can literally tell you there's been, Sis Tops for instance.
Yes.
She's been in the game for long.
Yes.
For long.
And much respect to you.
You know? So you have to wonder, a lot of these bullshit.
Yes.
Been in the game for long. You know? We know them in the game, but also there's a tendency of isolation because they didn't come in the game when what do you call these things?
Penis party.
I don't want to say that, but I also want to say the compilation era
Yes.
gave South Africa's godfathers the platform. They had the platform. Even till today, we all know where the filtering, our style of music and listening and playing comes from. It comes from those compilations we bought. All of the compilations Vinny did, Fresh did, Oskido.
Oskido.
You know, Kanunu, we've got Claude, we've got Terrence, like all of those dude, Mbuso.
Yes.
All of the albums that they did kind of created a vibe and created a style of play for people, right? There's no female that ever released a compilation. Then in those times, where places like Metro and YFM were playing deep house at night, right?
Yeah.
If we ever had ladies that literally put out music in compilation format then, because for a very long time when we bought those compilations, we always used to say, did you hear that track by Vinny?
Yeah.
And not the actual artist.
Yes.
Right? Did you hear that track by Vinny on Deep House Sounds 1? We never said the artist, we never said the track title. The track title was the compilation, and the actual composer and producer would be Vinny. That in itself put them on a very big map to say, when you started understanding how the compilation, how a mixtape comes into play, who makes the track, how do you find music, how do you dig for music, that then came into play. But pre that, did you hear Vinny's new album?
Yeah.
Right? Did
So
you
now,
hear?
so now, where's the ladies in all of this?
That's my exact question. At that stage, you can't tell me there were no ladies that were DJing.
Yeah.
You can't tell me there were no ladies that wanted to be in the industry.
Yeah.
Now the question is, where were they then? You know, were they creating the opportunities? Were they given the opportunities? That kind of question.
I think you can only answer that with them in the room.
Yeah.
And the answer that I'm going to give you is just a perception of things still going on.
Okay.
And I suppose that is where the dirty and deep started with Malibala, and that is also where the Cherry Yam started with Lady Z. Because I felt, look, you had that conversation with Leighton about there's not enough events. Okay, cool. That was at that time. But let's fast forward to today. Now we have 3-4 events a night on a weekend, whether it be end of the month, middle of the month, second weekend of the month. Something's bloody happening. If I smart to go out,
There's something.
there's something happening.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where in Cape Town you go, there is a deep house, something happening somewhere.
Yeah.
And once again, if you look at the lineup, some of them are still predominantly male dominated.
Okay.
Some of these movements are still predominantly organized or curated by males.
Okay.
I'm not the first female to start an all-female blah blah blah. I'm not. But I'd like to be, and this is the goal, the one that has longevity when it comes to Cherry Yam.
Okay.
There were females that did it before me. Life probably happened. I'm guessing. I can't say they're not in the room to speak for themselves. Or maybe they were just not given the opportunity to go a little bit more in depth into the events and things like that. Why did I start it? To play.
Okay.
To have my own thing. And if there's any girl, woman, female out there that would want to be part of it, here's your platform. Why not?
Give me
Reach out. Talk to me.
Here's a question for you. Yeah, I'll throw this one at you. Yeah, it's a
Controversial.
well, it's not controversial. It's fair questions, you know, because I literally can use my fingers and toes to count the amount of DJs that are literally in my face. That if I open up my phone or if I am going to curate an event, there's 20 ladies that I know that are
There, doing it.
right? If it's curated in a deep house format or open format, these are the ladies that can go on this gig. These are the ladies that can go on this gig. I can curate an event. I've got very top ladies in Cape Town, but now also I got 10 fingers and 10 toes to count them because they do the general work. They are seen on socials. They post their events. They invite. they've done interviews, they've done a lot to literally say, hey, I'm part of the industry, I'm here. Whenever you're doing something, do consider me, right? And then there's those ones that don't do that. Tell me if I'm lying.
No, you're not.
They don't do that, but also expect the same thing to come towards them. To say, I must wake up on a Tuesday and say that
this is not how can I say, this doesn't only happen in this industry.
True.
I think that has got a lot to do with who you are as a person.
True.
And how driven you are in taking your craft, your mastery to a next level. You could be the best motor mechanic out there, but people are not going to know if you don't market yourself.
There you go.
If you're not sitting in the right circles, if you know what I'm saying. Because damn it, people want to collab.
Yeah.
People want to work with you.
Yeah.
But if they don't know who you are,
how are they going to
then you
work?
can't say what you are saying. You cannot say what you are saying. I'm not going to know that my friendo wants to do an interview with me if he doesn't open up his mouth.
Yeah.
He opened up his mouth and now I'm here. So start having the conversation. If it's not done in person, damn it, there's social media. Reach out to people. Get your stuff out there.
Yeah,
Get yourself out there.
You know what also I saw is, for people, it's a hobby.
Then there's that other thing of, but why am I not getting booked?
Yeah.
Why am I not getting booked? Okay, are you networking?
Are you going to people's events?
Thank you.
To know who runs the event.
Are you inviting people to the things that you are doing?
Exactly. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's not just this DJing thing, it's in every
industry.
Exactly.
I think these kind of talks need to come from you ladies within the industry, you know. So as I feel those kind of conversations, even the ones that I used to throw out, is it because I'm black?
Yeah.
Yeah, you literally.
Yes.
I used to throw out that I'm not getting booked in town because I'm black.
Yeah.
Right? But then I realized, what am I doing to get the dudes in town to say, hey, there's a guy called Ndo-C.
Yeah.
You know, that's doing this kind of stuff and we can curate him on our lineups. Then I realized, oh, damn, I'm not. How are they going to catch me in their radar if I'm not doing that? Do I go to their events, or have I only met them once? You know, do I go to their events because they got Charles Webster there, or did I go to the event because I wanted to listen to music and hang around and meet the dudes and get friends in town or something like that? So then I realized that literally whatever blame I have is on me. I can't really point any fingers at anybody. It's on me. Yes, there is the politics of the game, but literally for not being in it is literally your own fault. So
do the politics.
Yeah.
You know why you're doing it. You know the connections that you want to make.
Yeah.
And the quality and the type of connections. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the people and the movements that I have worked with, it's because at that particular time we had the same vision. We were in alignment with whatever. And there you go. Something happened.
Exactly.
You produced something. Whether it be a podcast, whether it be an event, whether it be something totally off the radar of Deepa's, but it's still within that movement.
Yeah.
You've done something. And that's basically what it's all about.
I believe so too. I believe it's about just looking at how you generate and build your focus in this. And then treat it like a business more so than a hobby. Because if it's a hobby, it doesn't go anywhere. No one books you. You still stay a bedroom DJ. But as soon as it becomes a business, then you start realizing, hey, geez, I spent 10K on equipment, or I spent 10K on an event.
Hey, but people think this thing is it's fairy tales. They don't realize the amount of work and money that goes into this.
Yeah.
And they don't realize how much money you need to lose at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because your first few events,
It all starts by buying music and buying headphones. That's where you get to learn that this is a biscuit. Like right there and then you get to realize, hey, where am I going to get that 19.5 to buy, or what is it, 199?
Yeah, no.
To buy that new at Jazz track or that Jimster track? Or
Look here, never mind that. You know, from a personal point of view, that I'm trying to learn how to play vinyl.
Yeah.
So I bought my first vinyl.
Yay! I know. How much they charge you?
Look here. This one I got for like 250 rand.
Yep.
But the one that I actually wanted was 480 rand.
Yeah.
Now imagine if you need to buy 5
Yep.
or 10.
That's 4,800.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is not a cheap industry.
And also, it's a great industry as well.
Of course it is.
4 tracks.
Very rewarding.
4 tracks for 480.
That's it.
Yeah, those are things I believe people need to understand and need to get into the vibe of, in order to understand the producer's reason for making music, how much they spend, how much they require. Then to understand as the DJ how much money,
Yes.
that kind of jazz. Anyways, that's enough politics for me.
Yeah, we can talk about the politics all day. But at the same time, you can complain about so much in the industry. But once again, where do you fit into it? And how do you keep that positivity about it?
Yeah.
Because if you are not going to be that positive thing, and that person that does right by whatever, the person, the industry, the music, then who is going to?
Yeah.
So you actually need to protect this thing that you love, which is the deep house movement.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Have you ever considered making music?
I have. I tried. No.
You understand?
But at the same time, willing to learn.
Yeah.
Willing to learn. I'm still a baby in this whole thing.
Yeah.
Please remember, I got back behind the decks in 2020. We're in 2025. That's 5 years. If you look at DJ Tobbs, Buchle, Melibala, they've been in the game how long?
About
20?
20 plus.
Sha1ma? 5. I've got nothing on them. I've got nothing on people that's been in the game for 20, 30 years. So for me, I am a baby. And whatever I get into or get excited by, it's because I smack that learning. The research, as they say.
Okay.
I smack it because it's something that interests me. It peeks at me. It scratches at me. Even in the times where I don't smack to play.
Is there ever a time?
Yes.
Okay.
But then the bug bites you again.
Yeah.
And when that bug bites you again, it just means that it's a part of you.
Yeah.
It literally is a part of you.
Yeah. I never get those because every time I feel like I don't want to play, I get up and I force myself to go and play.
Wow.
That is meant for understand. Music is a feeling. A lot of the times you play different sets and choose different tunes based on what you feel and how they make you feel. So for knowledge experience purposes, when I don't feel like playing, I actually get up and go see what kind of set will I pull out in that. And, okay, so if I were to be having a really bad day and I'm really booked and I'm sitting somewhere where I cannot say I'm not going to play, this is what I'd pull out.
Yeah,
that gives you kind of a thought. Let's talk about Cherry Yam.
Hey,
Cherry Yam was born based on the same idea we were talking about, that women are not getting platforms to. How's it been going? How's the event been going?
Okay, so we celebrated about a year in the business. I started it with Lady Z in 2023. We had our first event in 2024. No pressure, I suppose, to have, because like I said, nobody understands the amount of money you pump into events and the amount of money that you lose with events. At the end of the day, I can call in a favor here and there, but there's going to be that one or two that's going to say, "Ish, look, petrol."
Hey. Hey.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Equipment wise, if the venue doesn't come with equipment, you're gonna have to fork out money to pay.
Yeah.
So yeah, no pressure. And I suppose Cherry Yam is just the umbrella of what our vision is, and that's got to do with anything with music, number one. Anything where the female is the driving force behind.
Okay.
And upliftment and empowerment of whatever, whether it be the mind, the body, the soul, uplift. And I suppose that is also where I pivoted a bit and I said, look, I'm at this point in my life where I have so much ideas and I've got so much that I still want to offer into this event industry, I suppose, that I looked at it and I said, why don't we combine music with this other side of you? And that has got to do with the upliftment, empowerment part of it. And not a great time in my life when this idea started sparking, and I said, but that's exactly what you need.
Yeah.
Jump into it. And that is where the For Ladies Only thing was born.
Okay.
Where you have your speakers in, when you sit in certain conversations, the same things come up. Finances is not so lekker. I just lost a
Yeah.
I'm grieving. Me and my partner's not together anymore. I'm not feeling so lekker in myself.
Yeah.
And that is where I said, okay, music is something that are smart. We use it for different reasons. For me, it's expression, it's healing, it's just getting your together.
Yeah.
But then there's always this other part, because music can only take you so far, but then certain conversations need to be had, certain workshops need to be had in order to bring everything together. So why don't we do a bloody event like that?
Yeah.
So you've got your speakers, you've got your music, and then kumbaya with your sisterhood, man.
Kumbaya with your sister.
Come, let's laugh together, let's cry together, let's do whatever together.
Yeah.
And so that is where we are heading to, in terms of just collabing with other female-owned businesses.
Yeah.
Female DJs, female event throwers, and just put everything together.
Yeah.
For ladies only. Why not?
Who do we have it for ladies only? Our speakers.
So we've got Erin Cavill. She's a very good friend of mine. She's got so much under her belt. She's a heavy hitter. Life coach.
Okay.
Then we've got Pumeza Nyaba. She is your financial guru.
Yeah.
And then we've got a company called Pursuit of Bliss. I keep on wanting to say Pure Bliss. Pursuit of Bliss, where it's got to do with your sexual health as a woman as well.
Okay.
So those are speakers, and then your DJs would be Viso Deep, myself, and Yvette. And then we're running all of this with Shanice Philander.
Okay.
So it's basically, and then our other partners in terms of business is Liquor Leaf, and Mind, Body and Soul, I think it is, with Amy. So so we've got all these nice little things going to be happening. Your speakers, your music, food. Food. And just vibes, man. Vibes.
Yeah. And this is only just for ladies.
For ladies.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you identify as a lady, why not?
Yeah.
I don't want to be you know what I mean.
Cancel her. It's quite sad. You can't really express anything of that nature anywhere.
Yeah.
Because you're going to offend people. But
of course.
I also feel that those are some of the conversations that should be open.
Yes.
Because we've got friends in that space.
Of course.
We've got family in that space.
Of course.
I think they need to be open.
Like no judgment, man.
Yeah, because
no judgment.
For conversation purposes.
Exactly.
Anyways, where do you see Cherry Yam and for ladies only getting to, because I can literally vouch for Cherry Yam. Cherry Yam, I've seen you generally do book gents for the event that come in and they play, and literally the platform is designed for females.
But
yeah, you're letting everybody in. Now for these two brands and these events, where do you see them going future wise?
okay, so I'm gonna have to mention what Lady Z wants to do with it as well.
Yeah.
So she'd love to do like a DJ school.
Okay.
And she'd love to open up the platform to help females within the industry in whatever capacity that means. For myself, event-wise, look, it's still in its infant stages.
Yeah.
And it's building to that little something that I have in my brain when it comes to an event. But I don't think I would love for it to be a club event only. And that is where the spin-offs of the For Ladies only comes in. Like I said, the Cherry Yam is the umbrella, and then there'll be all these other things that will be happening under the Cherry Yam label or brand or whatever you want to call it.
No. What do you call it? Because then we can make up our own. It's a brand. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But I would love to have like a Cherry Yam picnic, perhaps. I don't know. Anything. For me, it's just an extension of myself and what I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So I do enjoy a club, but I don't want it to be specifically just a club thing.
Yeah.
I enjoy these little empowerment sessions as well. So I'd love to incorporate that, and that's why the For Ladies only thing.
Yeah.
I'd love for it to just to be in the beautiful summer days of Cape Town, to have a picnic somewhere, and even if it means it's just, I don't know, anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Where do you see yourself with Cherry Yam, let's say 20 years from now?
Still in existence.
Okay.
Because like I said, I'm not the first female to do events within the industry.
Yeah.
But my goal would be the longevity. Yeah. So hopefully, God willing, it will be that.
Inshallah.
Still in existence as Cherry Yam. Yeah.
Okay. It's very great stuff that you're doing out here, and literally I'm definitely sure that there's a lot of people that are getting motivated with what you do.
Yeah,
and
I
how
hope
you're
so.
doing things. Yeah, I'm sure they'll reach out when the space gets there.
Of course, timing is everything.
It's everything.
Timing is everything.
It's everything. What do you got coming up? Okay, so we've got the For Ladies only coming up this month.
Planning stages of a club night.
Okay.
I don't want to
jinx it.
No, not jinx it. I don't want to drop names and then it's not confirmed.
Okay.
But a few ladies from Johannesburg has agreed to come down and bless us with their musical artistries. And I've also got a few ladies in mind that are Cape Town based that I'd love to involve in our next club night. But that will be like June, July. I don't know. I smack events in winter. I don't know what it is.
Sheesh.
Nobody wants to come out in winter but me.
Nobody wants to come out in winter. Business suffers in
but yeah, like a liquor. But I want intimate vibes.
I actually realized that there's a lot of clubs going into revamp stages.
Yes.
Now.
Exactly.
And then I figure when they look at their books, they feel that, it's winter time.
Yes.
This is when we have less customers and money.
So let's
might
revamp
as well
during this time.
Yeah. So as when we open up in summer, we can have the full complement.
Quite a few events have also said, guys, see you in summer. And that's okay. But for me, I don't know, I smack a winter warmer. Ching, 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 ching.
Yeah, no, set them up. We'll come through. Stiffs. Yeah. Anything else I'm missing from Sha1ma Bucks and Sha1ma? Anything else I'm missing out that I should know, or that your followers and the people listening to this show would like them to know about you?
Yo, guys. Not really. I think we've basically covered most of the things that driving here was like, he's going to want to talk about that, he's going to want to talk about that. But at the end of the day, do you know what? Coming to the dance floor now, and you have your phone out in your pocket, we didn't talk about that. Like, what experience are you actually having on the dance floor? Because if I take it back to my shenanigans on the dance floor 20 years ago, you were immersed in the music. And that is exactly where I still want to be on the dance floor. Immersed in the music. And appreciate when a DJ drops something that you don't recognize, but you're grooving to it. Your DJ is not just there for entertainment purposes, but they are there to educate you as a listener as well. Why? We don't hear underground stuff on the radio. They did the work to bring that track to you on the dance floor. So yeah, appreciate what they're bringing you, because it's not just that, they are actually sharing bits and pieces of themselves and what they're going through at that time of their lives when they are curating that set for you. Support each other, man. Support each other. Big ups. I'm tired of the negativity. I'm tired of the... I mean, be a little bit more positive, I suppose. Especially us in the industry. We need to really just lift each other up a little bit more. We all know it's not easy. But yeah, I shouldn't be hating what Ndo's doing with his brand. I should be supporting it and asking him, how can I be of service, or how can we be involved? I firmly believe that collaboration is the way to go with whatever we do, whether it be in the music industry or any other industry. There is, because it's a together thing. When you're on the dance floor, it's a together thing. It's community. So yeah, just keep that positive vibes going, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So with you starting your collection on vinyl, when are we going to see you play your first set?
When Ndo-C is done with me. It's a journey that I am so ready for, but not financially prepared for. But yes, I'm going to give myself like 6 to 8 months, and then you'll see me spinning vinyl on the dance floor.
Yeah. So for any donations on vinyls, donations on time in studio, we'll accept it. And thank you very much in advance for considering us in that aspect.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, man. Thank you, Ndo, for having me. This has been a long time coming. Not the way I wanted it to have, but...
Why?
Because, it was for me. We need to be doing something, like cooking or, I don't know, making bread.
Next time we'll cook.
Sitting next to me, having a conversation. But yeah.
Next time we'll cook.
Okay.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, DJ Ndo-C for Analogue Culture. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the show. Find Sha1ma on Instagram, Facebook. Some of her sets are on YouTube. And yeah, follow Cherry Yam. Follow for ladies only.
No, we don't have an account for that yet.
Not yet.
But just Sha1ma _B and then Cherry Yam.
Yeah, man. Show some love.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Analogue Culture.
This is DJ Ndo-C for Analogue Culture. #PA. Woo.